Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. This is the show where we talk about your relationships, your job, your boundaries, your family. Yeah, the crazy ones. Yeah, we talk about your money. Yeah, we talk about you right in front of you. George Camel, Ramsey personality, host of the Ramsey Network's Fine Print podcast, a very popular podcast where George explores the fine print, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. David's in Providence, Rhode Island. Hi, David. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Dave, how are you? George, how are you?
Great, man. What's up?
Dave, so I've called into you a couple of times. Last time I called, I forgot to ask you a very important question. My wife and I, we sold our vacation condo, and we made a lot of money off of it. We used a little bit of the money to put towards my debt snowball. Most of my debt snowball is business-related debt. And currently I have about $68,000 left in debt that I have to pay off, and we have $75,000 left over from what we made from the condo purchase. And I'm just wondering if I'm better off taking some of that money and knocking out the rest of basically almost the rest of my debt snowball, or I have a commercial piece of property that if I take the money and I put it on the commercial piece of property, which would completely pay off the property, and I generate about $6,000 a month worth of rental income, I want to put it towards the building, but I'm not sure, following your steps, as to what you should do.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd just pay off my debt. You work on your building later. Okay. It's a baby step 6 item to work on the building. The other stuff's baby step 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and knock it out. And the reason is this: whether it's business-related debt or not, you sign for it personally. It's all personal debt.
Correct.
And so it's the law doesn't call it business-related debt. The law calls it David in Rhode Island's debt. And so, yeah, I'd be clear of that, and then take your income, which you've got a great income, obviously, and let's begin to attack that commercial building and your home, if you haven't paid off your home as well.
Yeah, and a good reminder, David, when you clear that $68,000 in debt, you're going to free up a lot of payments, which is going to give you more ammo to pay off this commercial property even faster.
Yeah. I doubt you'll free up $6,000 worth of payments, which you said you would have done on the commercial property, but I don't think your payment on the commercial property is $6,000 either. I think that's just the income that you're talking about there, which you've still got that income and probably have a $600 or $700 payment on that mortgage.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to free up $1,000 to $2,000 a month by doing this, and reach over then and continue on down the baby steps. Make sure you've got your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. Start putting 15% away of your income into retirement, and start your kids' college. And then let's attack real estate debt, home debt, commercial building debt. Have baby step 6. Alex is in Minneapolis. Hey, Alex, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Dave.
What's up?
My question is, I'm in baby step 4 and baby step 6, no kids, single with no kids. And to get out of baby step 2 and 3, I took 2 part-time jobs in addition to my full-time job. And my question is, how do I start to transition from being in the gazelle attends mode to adjusting to baby step 4 and baby step 6?
Well, we say you go from gazelle intense to intentional. And so there's the difference when you hit 4 and 6. And, me and my wife, we were a little bit intense in 6 because we just wanted to pay off our house. But this is kind of a choose-your-own adventure at this point. As long as you're investing 15%, I still want you to have a goal as to how you're going to pay off this house faster than 30 years, faster than 15 years. But once you have that goal in mind and you're sticking to that, I want you to enjoy your life too. I don't want you calling in going, man, we've been gazelle intense for 20 years and we don't even know how to spend money. We don't know how to give. We're just socking away money. So I think you need to set a goal still, but you also need to enjoy yourself and not be working 3 extra jobs.
Exactly. You go from sprinting to marathon, and I would drop the jobs unless you're just loving them or they're taking you somewhere from a career standpoint. You know, you're following a Ken Coleman process of some kind. But if they were just for money to get out of debt and they represent gazelle intensity, not intentionality, then, you know, if you love one of them or it's taking you somewhere, I'd keep one of them, but I wouldn't keep both of them.
Yeah.
And you know, again, there's just being very careful and very intentional, say it 6 times, but I mean, that's the thing. You go from sprinting to marathon.
I like still having a goal in mind.
Absolutely.
Even for when do I want to become a baby steps millionaire? When could that happen? When could I pay off the house? How much more could I give? Always having a goal is going to keep you motivated, and it's when you lose all of that, you just start to get a little fat, a little lazy.
Well, in business, what we do is we call it, you need a desired future. Henry Cloud talks about that. You need a desired future. That's your goal. And then you start immediately asking yourself what has to be true to get there. Well, I got to save $622 a month. Okay, that's what must be true. But you wouldn't have known that if you didn't set the goal.
Yes.
You would have been just going, I save money. You don't have a detailed thing. So you need to hit it and go, okay, I'm going to knock this house out. Okay, good. What's that mean? Okay, I think I can pay X number of dollars, and that's going to pay it off in 8.7 years. Okay, now we got a goal. You know, and the X number of dollars now becomes the rhythm.
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for. So.
And you can allocate, you know, in baby step 4 and 6, you start to look at your budget and go, hey, let's put some more fun money in there. We've earned it. Let's go on a nice trip. Let's have a vacation sinking fund and upgrade the car. So I want you to have goals in other areas of life other than just investing and paying off the house. But
always have enough that the spending does not take up all of the ability to do baby steps 4 and 6. You can't use it all up in consumption there. But
there's a middle ground.
Most people don't have that problem. Yeah. Mary Jo is with us in Tampa, Florida. Hi, Mary Jo. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
How are y'all doing this afternoon?
Better than we deserve. What's up in your world?
Well, it's kind of like a tricky question. We have 2 kids, all grown up, college, everything taken care of. We've worked pretty hard. We're now reaching, both me and my husband, we're going to be 57 this year. And we want to retire, 5 years from now. We don't want to keep working until we turn 67, which is the full retirement, So now that both kids are out of college, we got them out the door 6 months ago. The last one's out. We're like, this is time for that. So we said, with this extra money we've been putting towards the kids, let's pay off our house.
Agreed.
So currently we were looking at our interest rate, and sadly, we couldn't concentrate on us for so long. Our interest rate is at 4.625.
Oh, time to refi, yeah. I mean, how much is your balance?
Well, the sad part is we had to do a modification about 10 years ago.
What's the balance?
The balance as of today is $154,000.
What's your household income?
Household income between us 2 is $115.
Okay, if you're not going to pay it off within 3 years, you need to look at refinancing it. You might be paying it off in 3 years, though. So you need to lean into that and look at it. If you're going to pay it off that fast, it may not be profitable to refinance it. But if it's going to take longer than 3 years, go ahead and refinance. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Over the last 30 years, I've walked with tens of thousands of people and their families to help them overcome financial stress. And of course, we found money stress is just one of all kinds of ways we all have stress. We have anxiety, loneliness, all at the same time, right? some sort of crazy in your family, somebody told lies about you, some that were well-meaning people, some not so well-meaning people out there. The list of hurts, it can go on and on. Unfortunately, you can't change your past, but you can change your future. Here's the good news. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, has written a new book. It comes out in April, and it's on pre-sale right now, called Own Your Past, Change Your Future. And he'll walk you through the not-so-complicated approach to relationships, mental health, and wellness. Through his personal stories, decades of experience, and research, Dr. Deloney shows you how to transform hurt into healing, move from hopelessness to hopefulness. And the book's available for pre-order right now. Own Your Past, Change Your Future. We'll teach you how to deal with different kinds of trauma, get connected to a community, actually make friends as an adult, and the steps you take to change your thoughts and your actions. And yes, all of this is possible. All kinds of bonus items if you buy it while it's in pre-sale, including the audiobook, the ebook, and a month of free one-on-one therapy with BetterHelp. All of this when you buy a $20 book. That's a deal. That's hundreds of dollars worth of stuff there. And Own Your Past, Change Your Future at RamseySolutions.com. Our question of the day comes from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use the promo code Ramsey, that's the magic word, and you'll get the best deal.
Today's question comes from John in British Columbia. He said, my wife and I have 3.5 years of car payments ahead of us, and our monthly payment is $300. We've got 2 kids, earn about $45,000 a year after taxes, and our budget is fairly tight with no wiggle room. We have roughly $20K in a TFSA and owe $15K on the car. You say to use any non-retirement investments to pay off debt, but why should we use the $20K we saved, which is making 10% interest a year, to pay off a payment which has 0% interest? I don't see the benefit of doing that, especially since it would leave us with almost no savings. Interesting. Not the first time we've heard this scenario, Dave. I could put my money in the market and make way more than my debt is costing me in interest.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. You make $45,000 a year. You have a $300 car payment that's causing you stress. Your best thinking has gotten you to this point. So you're going to keep using your best thinking? I have to ask myself those same questions. I mean, it's like, I hired a personal trainer one time to come to our house and had a little gym in the bottom of the house, and Sharon's making fun of me. You're paying somebody to help you count to 10, 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, it's not what it is. And she says, well, you don't listen to him. You don't do what he says. He's got a six-pack. You got a keg. I mean, you ought to listen to the guy. My best thinking got me a keg. His best thinking got him a six-pack.
Who are you going to listen to?
So who are you going to listen to? Your best thinking or someone else's?
Yeah.
That's at the core of this. And that's not because I'm offended that you didn't just jump on this, but, one of the things we have to do in this process is go, my way's not working. I need a new way. I mean, if you keep making a cake over and over again and you want chocolate cake and it keeps turning out vanilla, you need to change the recipe.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result is the definition of insanity. So that's at the core of this. And then we can answer the question, too.
Yes, but that foundation needs to be there. And what's happening here is I love math as much as the next guy, but if you just do math, you go, wow, this works, man. I'm going to invest all the money in the market and leverage all the debt I can. But math is only part of the equation. We got to talk about behavior. We have to talk about risk. We've got to talk about options and freedom, which he doesn't have right now because he has a car payment. And so if you want to have that freedom, you've got to make a sacrifice here.
Yeah. Based on your theory, John, you would borrow $300,000 on a car at 0% and put it all in a market at 10%. And obviously, when I say that out loud, you hear the absurdity of it. And that's how absurd your overall question sounds, actually. So, and the reason is you've left out risk, you've left out cash flow, you've left out peace. And so what I want you to do, you can do whatever you want to do, but what we would teach you to do is pay off your car today or sell it if you're going to keep it. If you're not going to keep, if you want to keep the money, that's fine. Sell a car. But I'd pay it off today if I'm going to keep it. And then I would continue to move through the baby steps, which puts you, if that makes you debt free, then you're going to move towards your emergency fund. I'm building that up. And then you're going to move towards retirement accounts.
Which it looks like he'd have about $5,000 left over even after paying off the car. So it'll get them some headway into baby step 3.
So I'm not sure in British Columbia what a TFSA is. I'm assuming the way he asked the question that it is not retirement account.
Yeah.
But conceptually, if it's not a retirement account, I'm pulling the money and paying the car off, or I'm selling the car. One of the two. You need to get rid of your car payment, John. Because but the other thing you got to really think about is, my best thinking brought me here. Number one, that's not working. Number two, you have to ask yourself if the information I'm getting somewhere else is credible, and if it is credible, I'm going to submit myself to that new way of thinking. And so, it can be just simply, I was reading a book on parenting when the kids were little, and it said this, this, and this, and this, and I went, I've never done that. I've never even thought about that. And I thought, yeah, but the source, the author, was somebody I believed in. And I thought, you know what? He probably knows more about it than I know. So I'm going to start doing that.
Do it his way.
After reading about 15 of those books, the kids turned out. None of them live in my basement. So there you go.
Boom.
And so it means I'm a success, right? So there you go. Open phones at 888-825-5225. For you basement dwellers, you have to know that an eagle who fails to launch is eventually known as a turkey.
I like that one. I don't know if I've heard that.
That's where you go. So set the little eaglets free. It's good for them. The little wings will develop, and
turkeys get shot.
We will have society, and and we eat them at Thanksgiving. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, that's gross, but okay. That metaphor unfolded poorly. Dylan is with us in Gainesville, Florida. Hey, Dylan, what's up?
Great. How are you doing today, Dave?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Well, I got a couple big life changes coming up. I'm graduating college this May with a degree in computer science, and I have a job offer in Florida for after I graduate. However, my girlfriend wants to sort of live abroad for a bit before settling down. And another thing that might help with context is I received a $500,000 inheritance from my grandparents. So I have a little bit of flexibility, but I was just wondering what advice you have.
So you're trying to figure out how to talk to your girlfriend about this, that you don't want to move overseas?
I'm interested in moving overseas. However, I'm just scared about, I enjoy the safety of staying in, having a job offer. I was just wondering.
Well, if it's your girlfriend, it's one thing. If it's your fiance or your wife, it's another.
Okay.
Girlfriends, you just send them overseas. It's fine. Fiancés and wives, we don't want to be separated from. Am I wrong?
That's true.
I mean, if she wants to go over there and live, that's fine. She just puts at risk the fact that you might find somebody else while you're hanging out there in Florida. I mean, that's how that works. But I'm not readjusting my life plan for a girlfriend. I wouldn't if I were you anyway. I'm certainly not. I have one girlfriend. I've had the same one for 40 years as my wife. So, but I'll adjust my life for her. Because she's my wife, but I'm not I would not suggest, there's a better way of doing it, a young person or an old person adjust their life for someone that you are not committed to long term. You're making long-term decisions with a short-term person.
Okay, and if I have long-term commitments, then that might change things. I guess this is sort of like the deciding point.
I don't know if you guys call it. How old are you?
21.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys call it this ananymore, but when my kids were like teenagers, they call it the define the relationship conversation.
The
they still call it that.
That's a thing.
Yeah, and that was new to me. Even then, I was old. So, but it's definitely new to me now. But that's kind of what we're having here. Is the only way I'm going over there is if we are going over there.
Yep. And if you break up when you're overseas, that's awkward.
Yeah.
That could happen.
All for a Vax card. Yeah, there you go. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Alex and Sarah are in St. Cloud, Minnesota to do a debt-free scream, it says on my screen. Hey guys, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Dave and George.
Welcome, welcome. How much have you paid off?
We paid off $48,000 of student loan debt in 4 months.
Good. Wow. And your range of income during that time?
We made a $150,000 household.
Okay. So you had some money in savings you just threw at it, or what?
Yeah, well, we were blessed initially by my wife's grandma. She gave us $10,000 as schooling to help pay that off, as well as we actually had $12,000 of the student loans sitting in a bank account that we were going to use. And we're like, hey, we can just pay that back to the student loans and, help speed this up, as well as I had a decent year in sales, so we had some money sitting around to just throw at it.
Okay, so how much did you have laying around, and then you cash flowed the rest?
Yeah, we cash flowed the rest. No,
So
we
12,
had about
10,
maybe, I had about $10,000 to $20,000 in commission sitting around.
Okay, so you had like 35 of the 48, and then you just plowed through the rest in 4 months.
Yep.
Way to go, man.
Yeah.
What was the wake-up call? What got you moving?
Well, our Dave story starts off of when we moved up here, kind of took over a business and ended up going into bankruptcy because of that business.
Oh.
And went through FPU actually during the bankruptcy. And then from there, that kind of got our butt in gear and, we retired.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Good for you.
Yeah, it was.
So it was after the bankruptcy you said, I'm never going to be here again.
Yes, basically. we had a Dave moment.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to say never again and what that process looks like.
Wow. Exactly. Yeah, it was not fun.
So you roll into Financial Peace University and you're looking at this and you're going, I think we can do this if we just pull all these different accounts together, throw it at it, and then jump on it for a few months. We'll knock it out.
Oh yeah, nope. Yeah, we starting with Financial Peace. Our leader Stacy, she was just kind of walking us through everything, and it was like, hey, we, looking at the money we had in the accounts, it's like, hey, we can just throw all this money at this and not have any payments here in the future, because another big motivator was we didn't want to pay any interest on it. Yeah. So it was just sitting there, interest free because of the government, and we didn't want to pay any interest when it started back up.
What do y'all do for a living now?
I'm in sales, and my wife actually just took a job as a lifestyle consultant.
Okay, cool.
What does that entail?
What's a lifestyle consultant?
I'm wondering if I need one.
I'm a lifestyle consultant. You're spending too much. Yeah, that's me.
So I work at a weight loss clinic.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's a good way of saying that. I like that.
Makes me feel better about it. Yeah. Very cool. So what kind of sacrifices were you guys making? I mean, you were just gun-ho. You were ready to get this thing out of your life.
Yeah, no, we were, basically, our beans and rice story consisted of running to Costco and buying straight beans and rice in the 50-pound bags.
Wow. You took it very literally.
We were committed.
For 4 whole months, yeah.
For 4 months.
That's awesome.
Good for you. How's it feel to be free?
Oh, it feels great.
I mean, the big news is you have a new way of looking at things after all you've been through.
Oh, yeah.
And it has now proven itself out very quickly for you, so now you've got to live it.
Yes. We had a wake-up call instantly, and, yeah, just the mind shift that happens even through Financial Peace is unreal.
Yeah. Way to go, you guys. We're proud of you. Excellent job. Good work. We've got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth, how you can too. That's the next chapter in your story. We want you to play all the way through now and finish this and do it right and end up with some wealth and be in a position to be just crazy, outrageously, wonderfully generous. Also got a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you, and that's a book you can give away and help somebody else get on this same journey that you're on. So way to go, you guys. Who was cheering you on?
Our biggest cheerleaders was actually our FPU group. Stacy was awesome via Eagle Brook Church up here.
Oh, yeah.
They were a
Brook's
big family support.
Yeah, that's an incredible church. They do a great job.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Good. Well, way to go, you guys. Well, thank you for calling in and sharing your story. You're inspiring. Well done.
Appreciate it very much.
Alex and Sarah in Minnesota. $48,000 paid off in 4 months after they gathered the accounts together and then finished it with some beans and rice, making $150 a year. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free.
Yeah! Way to go, you guys. Woohoo! Blake is in Idaho Falls, Idaho. Hey, Blake, what's up?
Hi, how's it going, Dave?
Great, man. How can we help?
So I got a question. So I'm currently an apprentice over at a Ford dealership. And I got a job offer over become an HVAC apprentice. My dad talked to me into getting that. I'm currently making $12.50 an hour. I'll be bumped up to $16.50 an hour, but I'll be having to go to school in the fall 2 nights a week, and that's $850. The thing is, too, is I have a bunch of tool debt. I have about $1,000 in tool debt, and then $1,000 of debt on a motorcycle I bought beginning of last spring. So I'm right now in the pinch. I'm like, I don't know if I want to take this job offer and then have more school loans to have or what.
Okay, I got lost somewhere. You're currently doing HVAC?
No, I'm currently an apprentice over at a Ford dealership right now.
Apprenticing for what?
As a mechanic.
As a mechanic, and that's where the tool debt came from?
Yeah.
And then the opportunity to move into HVAC tech requires you to go to get some VOTEC classes. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
And that's working for your father?
No, my father was the one that told me about getting into HVAC, and that's what I'm trying to pursue right now and get out of the mechanic industry.
Okay. But you're going to have to pay for these classes, and you don't have the money to pay for them.
Yeah, my dad said he would help me out, pay for all of it, and I'll just pay him back later down the road from what he told me.
No, we don't go in debt, and we don't go in debt to Dad for sure. Bad plan. How old are you?
I'm 20.
Okay. Why are you doing any of this?
I'm trying to get a trade job.
Why?
I don't want like a normal just office job or anything, so...
You like working with your hands, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm a hands-on type guy.
That's good. Okay. What I don't want you to do is I don't want you to invest heavily with your time, your life, your education into something just because it sounds like it might be a good idea to make some money. And that's what this sounds like.
I've done a bunch of research now. I'm watching YouTube videos on it. It looks like something I could get into because mechanicing right now, it doesn't seem like it's really for me.
Why?
It's pretty much the same thing every day. I'm spending all this money each week on new tools for a special job, and it's just repetitive.
Dude, heating and air is repetitive. It's only a couple of times. There's only a couple of things you can do there.
Yeah, but I'm not spending all this money each week on new tools, though.
Okay, well, that's not the question. You don't have to keep spending money on tools to be a mechanic. That's just something you got sucked into. It sounds like you got a real good tool salesman stopping by the shop to me, but but both of these are repetitive.
True.
Yeah, we just don't want you to go down this HVAC path and you go, man, I got to buy new tools and this is really repetitive and I got to do something else now after spending all this money. So I think you got to take a breath and figure out what you really want to do. And I'm happy to send you a copy of Ken Coleman's book, From Paycheck to Purpose, and I'll also get you the Get Clear assessment that he has, because I think right now you just need some vision for your life.
I think you need to take that assessment and really start asking yourself, because I'll tell you what I am sure of out of this conversation after talking to you for just a minute. I think you're probably not only like working with your hands, you're probably gifted at things mechanical. It gives you joy to make things work. And you probably need to pursue something in this field, but I'm not sure you selected HVAC any more carefully than you selected mechanicking. I think you just saw something different and you're tired of that one. So I want you to take those things and then you decide what you're going to do.
And make sure you cash flow whatever education you pursue.
You're going to pay cash for it, no debt, or don't do it. Just don't do it if you have to go in debt, even to your dad. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is our co-host today. Thank you for joining us here on The Ramsey Show, where we talk about your relationships, your mental health, your work, your career, your money. It's all right here. George, regarding our last call with that young 20-year-old young man there, Earl Nightingale, who was kind of the grandfather of the motivational speaking movement back in the 60s, he used to say in one of his motivational talks that I listened to when I was probably that young man's age, that too many people spend more time picking out a suit of clothes than they do their career. And what we're trying to get to there was, you know how many people picked out a career because their friend got a job over there? Dumb idea. You know how many people picked out a career because their mama said you can make good money doing that? Dumb idea. You know, and so Ken Coleman and we at Ramsey, we spend our lives around here trying to get you to find something that aligns with your talents and your passions, and that you're going to get joy from, and you're going to make money, and you don't go spend a bunch of money on education then to become educated to do something that you don't end up doing, and which is like everybody just about, right? So, you really need to... Parents, don't do that to your kid. Don't say, oh, you can make good money heating air. You ought to go over there. Why? No, how about more like you have this unbelievable ability to see things mechanically. And it can lead you to a whole lot of places.
Yeah.
It's very important.
Oh, yeah. And parents, it starts with the parents. And a lot of parents are pressuring their kids for really terrible reasons. And go to this school because I went there. It's my alma mater, and you got to get this major because then you'll have a steady job that you'll hate. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to end up trying to switch careers and call us going, I hate my job. My parents forced me into it. And so I just see that future of that bright young man, and I don't want to see him calling us back going, I hate HVAC. Help me get out of this.
I'm not sure HVAC's a bad thing for him. It's certainly not a bad thing.
Yeah.
But the reason he was describing leaving that one job is exactly what he's going to get in the other one. So it sounded like frying pan into the fire to me. So, but it's man, you can do so much in the trades to make money if you want to go in the trades using your hands today.
We love the trades. Let's make that clear.
I highly recommend them. Yeah, but get into something where you have a specific thing that kind of gives you a little electricity when you talk about it, other than just, I can make some money. Beth is in Detroit. Hi, Beth. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thank you so much for taking my call. I'm a little bit starstruck, so I'll try to get through this call.
George does that.
That's what it is. I was going to say.
George does that.
George
does that.
Okay.
People get that way when they're with him.
Oh. Well, I am a long-time listener, first-time caller, and I appreciate you taking my call. My husband and I are just kind of getting our ducks in a row, a little bit late, but still doing it. And I'm interested in learning about a Ladybird Deed. And if you know anything about it or can help me to know if that's the right way for us to go.
Okay. It's simply a life estate, and people nicknamed it Ladybird because Lyndon Johnson did it with his wife. And so they nicknamed Ladybird Johnson, so they nicknamed it a Ladybird Deed. But all it means is that, for instance, if you all had kids from if your husband had kids from a previous marriage, he wanted to leave the house to the kids, he could leave you a life estate meaning you're allowed to live there, and the kids can't do anything with the property as long as you're alive.
Okay.
It essentially clouds the title. Meaning that you are in control of they can't refinance it. There's not really anything they can do with it without your permission. If you are given the life estate, that would be an example of how it's utilized. How are you talking about using it?
Well, I just wanted to make it easy for them when we're not here anymore to just do whatever they want with it, sell it, take it over.
I wouldn't do that then. I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I just leave it to
How
you.
would you do
And
it?
what I do is do mirror image wills, and a mirror image will says that if you die, it all goes to him. If he dies, it all goes to you. And if you both die, you both are in agreement on where it's all going.
I see. What about a Medicare Protection? You know how they go back so many years if you...
Medicaid. Not Medicare.
Medicaid. Oh, forgive me. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that
And
probably would...
if you want to go into a welfare nursing home, you want to get the property out of your name 5 years before, but I don't recommend welfare nursing homes. That's
And
what
neither do I.
Medicaid is
Thank
welfare. Medicaid's welfare.
Okay. Definitely no. I wouldn't plan to be there. Okay.
And so you need long-term care insurance and money.
Long-term care insurance and money.
She wrote that down.
Wonderful.
I like that.
Are you 60? Are you 60?
62, and my husband's almost 64.
Perfect. You don't have long-term care insurance to cover nursing home or in-home care?
Well, I'm embarrassed to say that I don't.
That's okay. It's okay. No problem. What's your all's net worth? How much money have you got?
Probably between the house and, oh gosh, I was a stay-at-home mom for a long time, so we are not totally doing wonderfully, but we have our home that's paid for that might be worth about $300. We've got probably about $150 in the bank, and then we've got a couple hundred in IRAs.
Perfect. You need long-term care insurance. Go to RamseySolutions.com and click on ELP for long-term care and get with one of our ELPs, and they'll help you get it going. Because here's the scenario that usually happens where you are. If you had $3 million, if you told me that in your retirement, I would have told you to self-insure because you could pay for the nursing home, because the average nursing home stays not but 2.3 years. So you can pay for the nursing home or in-home care. But 75% of the ladies outlive their husbands. And so what normally happens is he passes away, or he goes into a nursing home, uses up your $300,000 on the nursing home, and then passes away and leaves you broke with a paid-for house. We don't want that. So we're going to get insurance to cover the nursing home. That's long-term care insurance. That's all you need, and then you need a will that leaves the house to the kids for both of you. That's all you need.
Dave, what's the magic number about 60? We tell people get long-term care insurance at 60.
It's a statistical thing, a probability thing, and the probability of utilizing nursing home services prior to age 60 is less than 0.5%. And it's weird. Almost every day after you're 60, it goes up dramatically. I mean, it's like a hockey stick curve, right? Wow. And so, you need that. Now, those of you that are baby step millionaires and have got $5 million, you're probably not going to go to a nursing home. You're probably going to hire 24-hour in-home care, which is not a whole lot more than a nursing home bill, actually. And you can get, be in your environment. And that's what I'll do, in other words, in my situation. If something happened to Sharon.
You'll miss out on bingo night.
No question, yeah. And we're going to take care of this and be in my own environment, being in control of the whole situation more. And one of us will be, whichever one is functioning. But, you can do that for more than a nursing home bill. But if you got $5 million, you're still not going to burn through even $300,000 or $400,000, $500,000 of it, taking care of that person, and you're still going to be okay. So you self-insure, in other words, through the final days of care routine if you've got substantial wealth. But where she's got that $300K, that's the exact number they're going to burn through probably. Yeah. So they definitely need to get long-term care insurance. She's right on that bubble. And no, you're not even going to be eligible for Medicaid, no matter what you do. Because the only way you get eligible for Medicaid is you have to prove that you're broke, which means you moved all of your assets out of your name in order to get welfare. And that's technically welfare fraud is what that is. So some people call it elder care law, but it's immoral is what it is. So no, we don't recommend that you act like you're broke so the government pays for stuff for you. I don't recommend that at all. But what a good question. That's very cool. So, but the life estate, or the Ladybird Deed, that's such a cool name. I never heard Ladybird Deed until the last few years. It's kind of, people started naming it that more lately. I grew up around the real estate business. We always just call it life estate. That's really all it is.
You got to give it a snappy name. That way people will do it.
Yeah, but you have, as long as you're alive, you have access to the property if you leave life estate.
Does that create any weird relational pieces with the kids and whoever's living there?
Of course.
Because they want you to die at that point.
Yeah, you're
kind of.
You're going, would you please
That's
get
awkward.
out? Especially, it's like stepmom, right? Because this kid's from a previous marriage. So we're like, would she die and get out of the way? I want the house,
Yikes.
So, but you could actually sell, you go, okay, I'll agree to everybody to sell it, but I get some money. You could do that if you hold the life estate. You don't technically have to, but I mean, if you want me to get out of the way, you got to pay me.
I like that.
Prior to death.
All right.
So there you go. Gives you protection and gives you a place to live. This is The Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we talk about your relationships, your mental health, your money, your job, your career. We talk about your life all right in front of you. We talk about you right in front of you. Open phones at 888-825-5225. You jump in. The call is free, and some say the advice is worth exactly what you pay for it. Rachel's with us in Kansas City. Hey, Rachel, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for having me on. I'm such a big fan.
Well, I'm honored. How can we help?
I wanted to get your opinion on my husband and I's living situation. We're currently on baby step 3B, and we found out a month ago that my husband has cancer. That's why making the decision on where to live is kind of a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
But we kind of have a couple options. We could either re-sign our lease, which is increasing to be about a fourth of our take-home pay, and just break it if we find a house. The other option is both of our parents offered for us to move in with them to help save money until we find a house. But I honestly just wasn't sure if we should continue our house search, given the diagnosis and potential medical bills and things like that. So
well, that's a real scary word you're throwing around. What is the diagnosis? What's the situation?
He has stage 2 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Okay. Me not being a medical person, tell me what you think that means for your home for the next 2 years. What's he gonna go through?
Well, right now he's declining radiation treatment, but it might change in a year or so. The doctor said we could just wait and see how it could just go away on its own, or we could just wait and watch it as an option. So we were kind of thinking that unless it gets worse for right now.
So this is not life-threatening?
No, it doesn't sound like it, but...
well, certainly if you're declining treatment, it's either devastatingly life-threatening and you just don't want to go through the treatment, or it's not life-threatening at all and you're not worried about dying. Otherwise, you take the treatment, right? I don't know how this works, but help me with it.
Right. Yeah, the doctor said that since he's so young that he has seen it just go away before, and he said that anything past stage 1, he wouldn't recommend treatment for it. So he kind of changed his opinion now, and we're kind of getting second opinions on where we're going from there. But
okay,
yeah,
I want to settle this before I make a decision on housing.
Okay.
Because when I hear cancer, I hear you got a fight on your hands, and it doesn't sound like that I was right. It sounds like you may not have a fight on your hands. So, I mean, if you're getting ready to go into like 2 years of chemo and we're going to be concentrating on beating cancer, it's going to take money, spiritual resources, financial resources, emotional resources. It's going to require everything you got, in which case you don't need to be buying a house.
Right.
But if that's not what's going on, this sounds like, you're acting like he's got the flu here. I don't mean to be sarcastic, but I'm not grasping. So if it's not going to affect your life or his life, then maybe we just go ahead and buy.
Okay.
But I would not go buy a house if you're fighting serious cancer battle.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're going to need the money and the emotional bandwidth to fight it.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I and I'm not much help because I don't understand the situation well enough medically to be of much help. I mean, George, do you know
when is the lease up?
The lease is up in May, but we have to re-sign by the end of February.
Okay. Would they be maybe willing to give you an extension because of the health circumstances?
I could ask, but they haven't been super helpful so far, so I don't know if that's something that would be on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know your relationship with your family and if that's going to be, emotionally taxing to live with them or if it'd be a great situation, but it's not an urgent thing where I go, you got to move in with the family, you got to save every dollar you can. You guys seem to be doing fine right now. So I think re-signing the lease is a fine idea if, like Dave's saying, we don't know what this is going to look like, we don't know how much money this is going to cost, and renting versus home ownership, it's going to take a weight off of you versus dealing with being a homeowner.
Yeah,
it's got a lot of costs.
Moving, buying a home, closing a home, dealing with all the issues of moving, dealing with the issues of maintenance and everything else. I would not put you into a home right now until you get this solved.
Yeah.
And you know that it's in your rearview mirror. So either re-sign the lease or move in with your parents, one of the two. If you think it's going to be in your rearview mirror in 6 months, maybe you move in with mom and dad for a few months beginning in May, and between now and then, go ahead and start looking for a house. But you do need to get that second opinion and get a firm prognosis, a firm treatment plan that you're all in agreement on, and then that tells you how much of an impact this is going to be to your life.
Yeah.
And then based on that, you just say, if it's a major impact to your life, please do not buy a house while you're fighting it. But if it's a minor impact, the way you're describing it, which is kind of foreign to me, you can tell I'm a little confused by it. I'm happy that that's all it is. I hope that's all it is. But if it's a minor impact, then maybe you are buying a home this summer. And, when you May and whatever. Sounds like a landlord. I mean, you have to re-sign by the end of February for May?
I haven't heard something like that. That feels real early.
It's kind of one of those things, if you can get away with convincing people they have to do that.
Sure, they'll do it.
I don't know. There's definitely not a law.
That's the policy.
Just do whatever you want to do. And very interesting. Very interesting. Open phones at 888-825-5225. It's tax season, and I don't know anyone who loves that unless you're an accountant. Even the people at the IRS don't love it. The truth is, most of us dread filing taxes. It's a pain and confusing, and it's bad, and the tax software, it hits you with the extra fees. They try to sell you on more debt. Oh, what a mess. Filing your taxes does not have to be horrible. We created Ramsey Smart Tax to give you software you can actually trust. Smart Tax has steps that are simple, clear, You know you've done your taxes right. No more headaches, no more second guessing, and we will not surprise you with add-on fees. We will not sell your info to scummy companies. We will not give them the opportunity to get you into debt. You can be assured of that. And when you sign up for Ramsey Plus, it's even easier. You can actually file your federal taxes for free. Don't get taken advantage of by your tax software ever again. Start a free trial at Ramsey Plus and file your taxes for free. Go to RamseyPlus.com, RamseySolutions.com, and look up Ramsey Plus.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Sarah is with us, and Sarah's in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I want to thank you, first of all. My husband and I found you a few years ago and didn't realize how much debt we were in with student loans and everything. And in the past 4 years, we've paid off $160,000 of debt. And except for our house, we're completely debt-free. So
way to go.
So
good for you.
You do.
Way to go.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And with home values, we have a ton of equity in our home now. So it's great.
Good.
So we're at the point now, so we own a small business. We have a handyman at home, repair home services business. For the first few years, it was my husband, then we hired a guy. Now we've got two teams of two vehicles. Vehicles are both completely 100% paid off. But we got so busy over the last couple of years, we realized we really need to hire admin people. So in the last few months, we hired, one office manager. He's doing all the invoices, all the stuff we used to do around the clock, answering phones, estimates, invoices, and one person that's handling, marketing and promotions and our website and all that good stuff.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, so it's exciting, and it's growth, but it's also the first time we really had overhead. We're like, even if our guys aren't in the field working, we're still paying them salary to be in the office. So it's cutting it a little closer than normal, and we have plenty of business. We have a great reputation. We have the work, but we need to, in order to get to the next level in our business, we need to have a third team, hire two more guys, get another vehicle. And then again, that would add about, our projections would add about another 80 to 100,000 in revenue, to add another team on. But our problem lies in the vehicle. Right now in the short term, cars are appreciating in this weird market where supply and demand is all wonky, and cars are supposedly going up in value to where we've been searching for months for a Chevy Express, a small box truck, or a Ford Transit. And we just bought one in cash 2 years ago for $25,000. Now they're selling for $45,000 or $50,000. And we don't have that much cash, just to buy it outright.
Oh, wait a minute.
We don't want to go into debt.
The car market has gone bizarre, but it has not doubled. For
Well,
the
so
same
we have,
exact
like, we have a
car, it
Ford-
did not 25 to 40 or 50. You were
Well,
trying
so
to
we
you were
bought
trying
a
to get a better
Ford-
car than the last one you bought.
Well, no, they're exact same. So we bought a Ford Transit, like a 2018, and we bought it right at the beginning of 2020. It had 15,000 miles on it. We've put 30,000 miles on it since then. And those same exact car, if we sold it tomorrow, like on Facebook Marketplace or on Car Gurus, they're selling for 43 to 45,000. Like with the extra miles. In used condition, they're selling for more. So we're either going to get that car, or we could go up to like a Chevy Express, a little bit bigger box truck, but those are only selling for 48 to 50. So we could definitely get a smaller car because we're looking for a used one.
Do you have the money?
Used. We have 22,000 in our emergency fund, so not all of it.
Wait a
And
minute,
we're also,
this is
like,
not
we
an
really wanna
emergency.
drain-
This is not an emergency.
Exactly.
You can't use your emergency fund to grow your business. It's not an emergency.
Very true.
So you don't have
we're
the
like,
money.
do we-
So you don't have the money.
Okay.
So you don't buy the truck. You don't have the crew.
So continue to save. Just can wait.
Yeah. You need to make
save,
some
get the
money
cash
to
and
grow
buy
your
in
business.
cash.
Your business should grow with money it makes.
Yeah.
So you guys don't do any retained
now-
earnings or anything like that? No savings?
Savings, like our personal account, you mean?
Mm-hmm. Do you have any money saved that is not retirement accounts?
Oh, just the 22,000 our emergency fund, and then the equity in our home.
So you don't have the money to do this deal. You shouldn't even be talking about
Okay.
this.
And that's your personal emergency fund, or is this just for the business?
I mean, it's our personal emergency fund. Yeah.
They don't
for
have a
our family,
business
but,
emergency fund. They don't have any money.
You know, when it's a small, it's a small business, it's like one and the same.
Yeah. So here's
So,
what's
okay,
here's what's
so-
happening. Okay. You're about to step into the classic trap that small business people do all the time. You're about to, you've gotten so excited about this and you built it up in your head that you're about to step over into stupid to expand your business.
Okay.
And you're about to go into debt to buy a dadgum truck to add crews, and you're not even going to break even on it for 2.5 years. No.
Well, and the only reason we're not trying to justify it, but we would
Yeah, you
never
are.
do that with a personal vehicle. It just sits on the driveway. This is going to make us money. This would, if we add another crew, that's 80 to 100,000 revenue. So we were thinking, well,
That
if
is
we have the
justifying
revenue,
it.
because we have.
That is justifying it.
Yeah.
That's the very definition of justifying it.
Okay.
You're
And even
rationalizing
if we
your
work
butt
into
off.
the budget where
You're rationalizing
we're
your
paying it
butt
off in
off.
like a year.
You're going to do this no matter what I tell you.
Well,
Please
I don't
don't
want to.
do it. Please, I beg you. I've grown a $300 million business with cash that the business made 1 year at a time for 30 years. I have not ever borrowed money. I'm sitting in a studio that cost $2 million just for the freaking studio. And I needed the studio to broadcast, but we didn't do this until we could pay cash for it. And that way, when the freaking pandemic hits and all revenue stops, I don't go out of business because I don't have debt hanging around my neck for an overpriced truck. Please don't do this.
Okay.
Please. Now, here's what you do need to do. I think your prices are too low.
Okay.
You haven't raised your prices at all in the last 3 years, have you?
Actually, we have.
How much?
We have twice.
How much?
It used to be, like 60 an hour per guy, and then it was 80, and now it's almost 95 an hour.
You're doing better than I guessed. I was wrong. You're doing better than I guessed. Because so your margin should be going up on all this paid for stuff then, and it shouldn't be that close.
It is, yeah.
So what's your top line? What's your gross revenues?
It's about 240,000.
Okay, and what'd you net on that you paid taxes on?
140.
That's a great margin. It's a great margin. Okay, out of 140, I want you to start saving money to buy a used van to add the third crew. And when you have the money, add the third crew. But not until you have the money. Listen, here's the thing. The businesses that stay open don't run out there on the edge of thin ice borrowing money in order to expand as if there's no tomorrow, because there is a tomorrow and it might have a pandemic in it. And then you get yourself in a crack. And just don't do this. Don't do it.
And you guys, you paid off $160K in 4 years, and that tells me you're not scared of doing the hard work. And so, how quickly could you save up $40,000?
If you did that, that's $40,000 a year. They did it. So $40, $50,000 you can save in a year, based on that ratio, and you can go pay cash for this van. I gotta tell you, I mean, she sounds like she's done the research on the van. I'm having a real hard time believing that, but it may have happened. I may just be that much out of touch. I am aware cars have gone up considerably on the short term here, but I was not aware. And, maybe the construction business is completely booming out of control too, and that's running
those types of vehicles.
It's doubling the pressure on the vans more than just normal.
And I'm wondering,
used car pressure.
Could you get a cheap pickup truck for now that'll do the job, just for right now? I don't know what you really need to do this.
I don't have any idea, but I pay cash for whatever you're going to do. And, you do not justify this. You just worked to get out of debt. And then you called me trying to get back in debt. What did you expect me to do?
And what happens is they go, well, if we got 2 trucks, Dave, then we could have $200K more because and then it starts to get out of hand.
If you got 8 trucks, but then you got $800,000 in debt.
You start to get starry-eyed about the potential revenues without looking at the risk.
There's things you don't know what you don't know until you're there, and then you're going to learn. Please, you're just adding so much risk.
And they've worked so hard to get out of this debt on their personal side.
All right, go back in. Well, it's all personal debt. Believe me, they're not loaning that little business any money at the bank. They're loaning that woman money. She'd be signing personally. Don't do this. Please don't do it. Please don't do it. Please don't do it.
You got Dave crying now. It's a bad situation. Don't cry, Dave.
No,
It'll be okay.
just whining. Just whining.
There's a difference.
This is the Ramsey Show. Chaos. That's what it can feel like when your business is growing so fast you've outgrown your financial and accounting software. The faster you grow, the more likely you are to lose control of the numbers. And here's the reality. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. That's why we use NetSuite by Oracle, the #1 cloud financial system. Over 28,000 companies use NetSuite by Oracle, including Ramsey Solutions, because NetSuite gives us a single view of everything we need to make daily decisions. Whether you're making a few million to hundreds of millions a year, NetSuite gives you the visibility and control of the things you need to grow, like your financials, inventory, HR, planning, budgeting, and more, all in one dashboard. Go to netsuite.com/Ramsey right now to get their free white paper. Jumpstart your CFO career. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Abby is with us. Hey, Abby, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Better than I deserve. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you. So where do you live?
In Champaign, Illinois.
Good for you. And all the way here to do your debt-free scream?
Yes, sir.
How much you paid off?
$68,963.34.
I love it. Good for you. And your range, or how long did this take you?
35 months.
Okay. And your range of income during that 3 years?
I started out at about 14 and ended at about 65.
Whoa! Nice jump. Well done. What kind of debt was the $69,000?
All student loans.
Okay. When did you get out of school?
2018.
3 years ago.
Yep.
Okay, so you got out of school and game on.
Yep.
Well, I got to tell you, I actually want a copy of your T-shirt to take home, and I'm going to make my wife wear it.
You can find anything on Etsy.
It says because Dave says so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the chance that Sharon's wearing that's 0. I'll just tell you, but I love it. Very cool.
That's amazing.
I bet you get some questions about that.
I just got it, so I haven't yet, but we'll get there once we get out in public.
We'll work on stirring up a ruckus. Okay, good for you. So the debt was $69,000 student loans. You get out of school and game on.
Yeah, so I was in a 5-year program, so I could sit for the CPAs. And about senior years, when I started to freak out a little bit, they sent me a nice little email that said, oh, by the way, your payment's going to be about $650 a month. And at the time, I just had this little part-time job, so not good.
Yeah.
So I talked to my sister, and she told me about this Dave Ramsey guy. And, of course, I said I would go look into it, and then I totally forgot about it. But one night, I was laying in bed, and I could not get to sleep. And I thought a nice finance podcast would be the perfect thing to, bore me off. So I pulled it up, thinking it's going to be some, scholarly, dry thing.
That's what Dave's known for.
Yeah. I'm kind of known for being scholarly.
And dry.
That's me, yeah. Dry, that's me, yeah.
So it came on. This is 2 o'clock in the morning. The music starts blaring, and I'm like, it's the wrong podcast. It was not, in fact, the wrong podcast. So I kind of listened over the next few days, and I liked it, but it wasn't, it didn't change my life at that point. Then I found out about the book, and I'm a huge book nerd. So we got the book, and that is when we became the card-carrying member of the Dave Ramsey cult.
Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm so honored. Wow. I didn't know we had cards.
It took a book.
This is good.
I need one of those.
We need cards. Cards,
and
T-shirts.
The T-shirt.
Cards, T-shirts.
All the merch.
That goes with the thing. Way to go, kiddo. I'm proud of you.
Wow.
So they don't teach this in finance and accounting, this idea of getting out of debt. I wasn't taught when I got my finance degree. You weren't taught when you got your accounting degree.
I did not.
But you sat for and passed your CPA?
I did. It took a while, but we got through it.
Woohoo! Wow. Good for you. Obviously a sharp cookie. Well done. Good for you. So big job landed and all that, and that's how you go from 14 to 65.
So actually, I had trouble getting a job at first, and I finally managed to get one. But so COVID hit in 2020, and the little part-time job dropped off, and I picked up a consulting job. And then while I was doing the consulting job, I realized I wasn't really happy at my position that I had. So I went to a new position, but they couldn't find a replacement for me, so I stayed on the old position. So I had 3 jobs, and that's what got me up to the 65.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Cool. What are you doing today?
Now I am a staff accountant for a local healthcare clinic, and I just have one of the part-time jobs now.
Good for you. Good for you. Well done. Well done. Proud of you. Good work. So the podcast led to the book and led you to go, I'm going to do this.
Yes.
And the good news is that accountants know systems, and when you see a system, you just plug into the system.
It really is just math once you get into it.
And behavior, which clearly you did some different things.
Yes.
What was the hardest part of this process for you?
Oh, man. So being an accountant, seeing all the money that I was wasting on not putting it into retirement just made me cry a little inside. And then the worst part for me was I'm kind of an emotional shopper. So, if you're having a bad day, you go out and find something cool. And when you're working 3 jobs, you're studying for the CPA, which is almost another part-time job. It's a lot of rough days. So I would go online, find something, put it in the cart, like Rachel says, add to cart. And I would get as far as the checkout and see the total, and just a tear would roll down my cheek as I closed the browser window.
Did not hit submit.
Wow. And they sent you an email that said, you left items in your cart.
It was
we miss
horrible.
you. Come back.
Here's a coupon.
Come on.
Wow.
We thought we had you hooked. You got off the hook. Oh,
but it was all worth it.
Yes, definitely.
Wow. All right. So who were your biggest cheerleaders?
My parents were pretty happy that I was doing it, especially since one of them was a Parent Plus loan, so they were happy to see that go out the window. My coworker, Courtney, she's actually on baby step 2 as well, so she was always down for a good Dave conversation. And really the rest of it was the Baby Steps Facebook community is insanely amazing. Every time I paid off a loan, I would go on there, 5 left, 4 left, 3 left, and every single time I would get hundreds of comments from people that didn't even know me, and they would say, you're doing so great, come on, you're going to make it, we're so proud of you. And for me, because I'm single, that was everything.
Yeah.
It really helped push me through when I was having rough times.
Yeah, the Baby Steps community is powerful. It really is. And they do a great job of encouraging and accountability. If you step outside the line, they will tell you in there. I'm just telling you, they're pretty hardcore.
They're not scared to share their opinion.
They're card carrying. Yep. Yes, that's what they are. Yeah.
Their meme game is pretty good, too.
Do what now?
Their meme game is pretty good, too. The Dave Ramsey memes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. We'll send them to you, Dave.
Okay.
We'll fill you in.
I heard this had happened.
Dave stays off of Facebook.
I do now, but...
Yeah, you can be sure I'm off of Facebook.
But I do love that group. It really is incredible to see all the encouragement and support. Having people around you, especially for single people out there, it can feel lonely doing this plan. And I love that you got connected and you made those moves to have those people around you. We're so proud of you.
Yeah, we're proud of you. You're amazing. What a sharp, sharp young woman. Very, very well done. Well, we got a copy of Baby Steps Millionaires for you, How Ordinary People Built Extraordinary Wealth and How You Can Too. That's your next chapter in your story. The number 2 job in the millionaire survey of people that become millionaires? Accountants. So she's destined. This is where she's going.
Destiny.
Very well, yeah. And she figured that out, too. I'm not paying other people interest. This is the deal. And a copy of Total Money Makeover, the book that helped you. We'll give you another copy. You can give it away and stir up some kind of a ruckus the way you're going to do with that T-shirt of yours. So good for you. So proud of you. Well done. Very, very well done. All right, it's Abby, Champaign, Illinois. $69,000 paid off in 35 months, making 14 to 65. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Yeah! That is how it's done. I love it. Absolutely fabulous. Renee is in Knoxville. Hey, Renee, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I sold a house last year, and I still had to pay back some of the mortgage. So I got probably about a third of it back from equity, and I wanted to know what the best way to invest for like a short term. Right now I have it in a 15-month CD because I play it safe.
Okay. Well, what are you going to use it for?
I'm not sure. Maybe another home in the future. I'm going on 54, and it's not a lot of money, but I don't want to.
How much money is it?
Somewhere safe. I really don't want to say. I mean, it's not a lot, but
nobody knows where you are, darling. It's okay. You're in freaking Knoxville. I mean, it's not
is
like
it
we
10
can
grand
find
or
you.
100 grand?
It's 100.
Good for you. Okay, they're not going to come look you up for 100. Don't worry about it. You said 10 million, somebody might come find you. But all right, so $100,000, and are you going to buy a house in the next 3 years? You think?
Possibly.
I'd leave it in the CD then.
3 to 5 years.
I'll just leave it in that CD. It's not making anything, but you're not going to lose anything. And I don't want you not sleeping for the next 3 years. And I got a feeling if I put you in a mutual fund, you're going to not sleep. Because you're going to worry about everything the news says for the next 3 years.
Yeah, under 3 years, there's just a lot of risk going on. And so once that CD, the 15 months over, I might move it into something more liquid, like a high-yield savings account. You might get a 0.5%. Woohoo, but that's not the point. We want to protect this money instead of letting it, fall up and down in the market while you lose sleep over it.
Yeah, you're not making anything. You're just parking it safely. Matter of fact, you're going backwards because inflation's eating you up. But you're doing it for a short period of time. No big deal. It's just a parking lot. That's all it is. You're just not having to pay for parking. That's it. Free parking.
I like that.
This
good way to put it.
Is the Ramsey Show. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is the Ramsey Show, talking about your life. We're glad you're here. David's with us in Atlanta. Hi, David. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Thank you guys so much for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Hey, so I'm 34 years old. I'm married. I have 5 kids. And we're kind of in a little bit of a tough spot right now. Okay, so last year we purchased a house. It was $312,000. We owe $300,000 on it right now. And so the issue is that we have a house right now that is we have a rental property that is completely it's completely paid off.
What's it worth?
But like that house right now, it's going for about $225.
The rental would sell for $225.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. The issue is that right now we're in about $46,000 in credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just, my wife and I were new to the baby steps, and we're to a point where, like at work, I was feeling burned out. All the money that would come in would immediately leave. And it just kind of feels like we're leaving. We're living paycheck to paycheck.
Because you are. That's why it feels that way.
Yeah.
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 What's your income, household?
So right now, last year was $85,000. The year before that, we were around $92,000.
Okay, so about 90. You think you'll do this year?
I would say a safe number, maybe like 75 to 80,000.
Okay. Are you guys doing a budget? I know you said you're new to the steps. Are you doing a monthly budget on paper and tracking it?
Yeah, so we actually just started working on one. So yes, we are.
Okay, you're just getting started with the budget, it sounds like.
Yes.
It's because we got to find out where all this money's going. I mean, you guys make a decent income, and it sounds like there's nothing at the end of the month. And so we've got to figure out where these money leaks are in the budget, if this is going to eating out, if this is going towards online shopping. But we got to batten down the hatchets here and get rid of this $46,000 in debt. We'll worry about the mortgage later on in the baby steps.
Right. So, I think a lot of it was eating out. We were eating out, the money was just evaporating. And so what my wife was doing was pretty much, we were living off of credit cards.
Yeah.
And so, now, we find ourselves in a situation, we're scrambling around, we're trying to pay down, the debts from smallest to, largest. We're doing Instacart, Uber, and it's just,
let me tell you what I think is happening. And it seems pretty, looking at it from this side anyway, you're 34 years old, you got 5 kids, you both work. Y'all are running wide open all the time. Your lives are unbelievably busy.
It's hectic.
It's very hectic. And in the middle of hectic, you do 2 things. One is you become disorganized, which never is an efficient use of money. And 2 is you buy a lot of things that are time-saving things. Eating out is a time saver.
Yep.
Anything you can do because you're tired, you're exhausted, you're frenetic, you're going crazy, the kids are screaming, because you got little kids. You haven't got 5 teenagers. Your house is wild.
Yep.
And, in the middle of all of that, you're just trying to survive, and so you're not doing anything where you're telling things what to do. You're reactive instead of proactive on everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So what's going to happen is when you go through Financial Peace University and you learn to become proactive, and doing the budget is a step of being proactive. When you put every dollar on paper, you and your wife, put those kids to bed, turn off the stupid television, book a night where you say, we're going to spend 2 hours on this first budget, because the first budget's really hard. And you're going to put it in the Every Dollar app so both of you can track it. And I'm going to give you a year to Ramsey Plus so you can go through Financial Peace University and run the Every Dollar premium version of the budgeting app, okay? Now, when you start making this money behave, you're getting ahead of it instead of behind it. Then when you're tired and you get ready to buy something, you have to look at the budget and see if you have the money.
Right.
You're going to get a raise. It's going to feel like you got a raise when you get on a budget.
Now, so here's my question. I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
We have nothing in savings.
I know.
Absolutely nothing in savings. The only equity we have is, so the house that we just purchased, it's already gained some equity, about $40,000.
Yeah.
And then the house that's paid off, we have another $225 on a conservative side. So my question is, would you guys sell that property?
I'm not trying to fix the symptom. I'm trying to fix the problem.
Okay.
The credit card debt is a symptom of you being out of control and disorganized.
Well, let me tell you, I'm absolutely done with that.
Okay,
Like,
I
I've
know.
cut up all my credit cards.
Good.
Like, there's
Good.
no way in the world I'm going back to that.
So what I would tell you to do is let's get on this budget and you two get in this class and the two of you get a calm money rhythm as a couple where you're behaving for about 60 to 90 days before you make a real estate decision.
Okay.
Let's start beating on these credit cards, using the debt snowball to begin to pay them down. You're not going to make a huge progress. But about 90 days from now, I'm going to sell the rental. But I don't want you to do it right now. Because right now, you're scrambling trying to find a way to fix this. And I don't want you to fix this because this is you.
Right.
We got to fix you. We got to get you guys in a rhythm and get you guys in a behavior. The rental property then can be used to clean up the credit cards when we know they're not going to grow back because now we're on a new system. We have a new way of doing things, a new life when it comes to money, a new set of principles that we operate by, more than is just, I'm done with this. I'm done with this is a good place to start. But that's not a principle that will drive you for 10 years.
Okay.
So then you sell the rental, then you pay off the credit cards, and then we pay off your mortgage.
Gotcha. Okay. So you're saying go through Financial Peace University, then decide if we're going to go ahead and sell the rental property.
Yes. I think you are going to sell it, but I wouldn't until you've done this because you're going to be selling it for a different emotional reason than you are today.
Okay.
You've been flailing around so long that right now selling the rental property is flailing. But when it's purposeful and intentional and is a part of an overall strategy 90 days from now, it's a whole different way to sell it and a whole different place in your psyche that you're sitting when you're making that decision. You're a smart guy, David. You just got a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah.
I mean, you're juggling flaming swords, dude.
And what we're saying is we want to see behavior change so that you have long-lasting financial success. And right now, selling is just a shortcut, and you could be back in the same rhythms that you were beforehand. And so most people doing this plan, David, they'll be out of debt in 18 to 24 months. And you guys absolutely can do that just based on the numbers without even selling this rental property. And so that's what I want to see is some gazelle intensity. And obviously you got 5 kids, man. Your life is crazy. But we got to find some margin, shave some expenses, bring in some more income, and get creative and get this thing out of your life and never look back.
Yeah, and then the burnout will start to go away because you're burnt out because you're a rat in the wheel. You don't feel traction. Once you start seeing some traction from your work, the work takes on more meaning. But you have to have a sense of we're going somewhere with this, not like we're just spinning out.
Yeah.
And that's where you're headed, dude. You're going to do fine. 6 months from now, if you'll do the stuff we're teaching you, your life is going to be completely different. Your attitude, your heart rate when you're talking about this is going to change. The tightness across the top of your shoulders is going to release. All of this is going to happen. That's why we call it financial peace. 2 words that don't go together like Fauci math. And so, check it out. RamseySolutions.com, and you can plug into Financial Peace University. We're going to plug you in, though. You hold on, and we're going to sign you up for a year's worth and get you going. Good stuff. Like my new joke, George?
I like that.
It's a good joke.
You've improved.
I'm moving along. It's a little nicer than it used to be back during COVID. I was more nasty during COVID.
Now it's soft.
Now it's
calm.
Now it's just funny. This is The Ramsey Show.
It's Kelly, associate producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us, America. It's a free call. George Camel, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today as we talk about your mental health, your relationships, your job, your career, your money. We talk about everything here on The Ramsey Show. We're glad you're with us. 888-825-5225 is the number. Jalen starts off this hour in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Jalen. What's up?
Hi, sir. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure. How can we help?
Yes, sir. So I just actually learned about the baby steps and all that you've done starting in January. But in December, I made the stupid, maybe smart decision. I ordered a Tesla Model Y, and learning that it's $60,000 and that will put me in debt, I turned around and was like, okay, that maybe not be the best idea. But then I came up with the idea, doing research, that I could generate it into passive income by renting on Turo and allowing others to, drive it, do it as a rental property essentially for the vehicle and make that income back and paying off the debt with that. However, I'd still be risking having that debt because if things happen and I'm not able to rent the car out and things like that, I could still be withheld on paying almost a $900 monthly car note. So I just wanted to know if that's a good idea. I'm 23. I'm single. I don't have any other debt except for my current car, which is my Kia Soul. But it's currently in positive equity, and I'm just continuing paying that off, learning from the baby steps. So just really want some advice with this.
All right. There's a lot going on here, Jalen, but I'm glad you found us. Is it interesting, Dave? They always find you right after they do a dumb thing, and then a month later they go, I found Dave. It's amazing. But let me answer your question. So you've got debt on the Kia Soul, and you're going, I've got a business-making opportunity by getting a sweet toy and letting someone else destroy it while I slowly, painfully pay back the debt on 2 cars now.
That's a different way than he said it, George.
You're right. That's the way I heard it. I'll say that, Jalen. So, no, do not get this Tesla. You need to pay off this Kia Soul. And if you do ever get a Tesla, I want you to do it with cash. How much money do you make?
So I just got a promotion actually in January as well. So I'm currently going to be at $60,000 plus incentives.
You said $60,000?
Yes.
So you're going to own a $60,000 car making $60,000 a year.
When you put it that way, it sounds even worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why he did that.
That's why I did it. It was a trick question.
He's completely messing with
Jalen,
you, but he's doing it because he
you.
loves you.
I
he
love
wants
you,
to win.
and I want you to win financially, and the Turo Tesla deal is not going to be the business model you think it is.
So, Jalen, here's the thing. Really good question, and I really appreciate you calling, sir. A good way to make some of these decisions is to pan way back and say, okay, when I'm 35, 12 years from now, which will be the best decision? And it kind of instantly leads you to not doing the Tesla thing and getting the car paid off and starting to build some wealth, doesn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
the Tesla only sounds good when you think about taking delivery on it. It doesn't sound good when you're 35. You have a 12-year-old battery at that point with some wheels.
Right. Yeah. And with my current car now, since I can get more than what it's worth paying off the loan, should I?
What is the balance
on the car that I have?
What's the balance?
So I owe $14,000. Car owner's offering me $17,000.
No, just pay it off. Just work yourself. You got a job. Just work your way out of it. And then if you want to trade cars, do it with cash later. But let's just you have a small car debt, making $50,000, $60,000, and let's turn around and get it paid off as quick as we can. Because again, so the other thing I always ask myself is what, and I went broke when I was 28. Lost everything because I was stupid. So one of the things I started doing at that point is I started talking to old rich people. I didn't want to talk to young rich people. I had been him. He was stupid. I wanted to talk to old people who had money, made it, and kept it. Okay? And then I've continued that for the last 30 years, that discussion with old rich people, to the point we did a detailed, in-depth research of the largest research study ever done on millionaires in North America. And the number of millionaires out of the 10,000 millionaires that we studied, the number of them that said they became a millionaire because they went in debt to buy their car so they could rent it out was precisely 0. None of them used your plan that you presented to us a while ago. And so, and because it's just fraught with disaster. There's so many things that can go wrong in that plan that you laid out there. And if you've ever had a rental property or ever put a property out as an Airbnb, you would know not to put your car out in that system because people just don't take care of it. People are gross, as a matter of fact. They're just gross. They're filthy animals. And so you really find that out about them when they live in stuff or will drive stuff that you own. And it's just, you're going to discover that with your $60,000 car, with your $60,000 income. So please don't do it. I think you're not going to. I think we talked you out of it. But just for the other people listening that are thinking of the same way, I wanted to make sure we drive the stake deeply into the ground on that. So, yeah, pan back, ask yourself, what would old rich people do? Because that's what you want to be. Rich. When you're old.
And Dave, when it comes to spending decisions, I like to think of it through a framework where I go, okay, let me have some self-awareness. Is this going to add value to my life? Is it born out of my values? And I move on to motivation. And this is where it gets really tough, especially for young people. What's my motive? Do I have a good motive in buying this thing? Am I trying to flex on my friends? Do I want a shiny, cool toy so I feel successful? And then I go into affordability, and I go, can I afford this in cash? And if America answered that correctly, no one would be in debt, would they? And then you go into research mode and go, is this the best price retailer option that I can get? And then you go into timing and you go, all right, is this the right time to buy this? What's the opportunity cost? Could I wait a year? Could I wait 3 years? And when you do that, it actually spells smart, which is really cute. But what it does, it helps you just take a pause and think through a framework to go, is this the right decision for where I'm at financially? And if you answer no to any of those, here's what it means. Not now. We're not saying we never want you to have nice stuff. I want you to drive a Model Y Tesla one day, Jalen. But I want you to do it when you get your income up. You can pay cash for this thing. It's a small portion of your life and your world. And you're not doing it to flex on other people. And you've done it because you're already out of debt and you're investing. That changes the game.
Very few... There's so many people. We're a car culture. And cars, until the last 18 months, go down in value. And they will again as soon as this little supply-demand curve thing quits. They will depreciate again. And so it's the largest thing we buy that goes down in value. And once you've gotten past transportation to take your family somewhere or to take yourself to work, once you've gotten past that, the car is no longer a need. Everything above basic transportation is a want. And sadly, in my life, when I was young, before I was 30 years old, we didn't call it flexing, but it's just trying to impress other people, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to make somebody think I bought a Jaguar so that people would think I was successful.
Yeah.
Based on the car you drive? That's your measure of, but that's what people do. And I was that shallow. I was that dumb. And Jalen's not that dumb.
No.
This is The Ramsey Show. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. If you've been paying attention to the real estate market, you've noticed it's crazy. Competition's high to buy a property, in part because available inventory has been hitting all-time lows. Now when inventory is low, it simply means there are more buyers buying than sellers selling, which turns the pressure up. To win in this market, if you're buying with it highly competitive among buyers, you don't need to be an amateur. You need to have a pro in your corner. If you're going to sell in this market to maximize, you need a pro in your corner. You need to do this. Do it the right way. Get one of our endorsed local providers, the real estate agents that are high octane, high protein, some of the best producers in your area have been vetted by us. We'll connect you with that pro. Their years of industry success will cause you to have a positive transaction in a weird and whacked out world. Go to RamseySolutions.com/agent, RamseySolutions.com/agent. Jared is with us in Detroit. Hi, Jared. How are you?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. It is a snowy day up here. So. Whoa! Absolutely. I've been listening to you guys for about the last year or so on a regular basis. I'm a 31-year-old bachelor who's also the primary provider and caregiver for my two parents. Right before COVID hit, I had a student loan debt of $48,000 or so, and I'm getting ready to pay that off here at the end of the month. So 23 months, get that all cleared up. So my main question is, what would be the next best step, given that, I'm living with mom and dad and helping take care of them in this time that they need, as well as trying to benefit myself.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so just some chronic health issues with both of them, financial issues with them, and I've been the one to step up and lend a hand to them as the siblings are out of town.
So are you living with them?
Yeah, he said he was.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're getting free rent?
I'm actually I'm providing the funds for the house.
Oh. So they're getting free rent. How old are they?
Late 60s.
Okay. What's the nature of their chronic health problem?
Dad has lung and back issues. Mom has just the aches and pains and not able to, take care of Dad herself. She's unemployed. He has been a private music teacher for many years, so income was never steady.
So they have no money?
They're both on Social Security.
Yeah. And how much do you collect on Social Security on them?
Between the two of them, it's just under $3,000 a month.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. And then I went out, and a family from my church provided an open door for me, and that's how I've been able to pay off this debt. They brought me in. They own a landscaping company, and they brought me in to run the office and run the sales department last February, and it's been a great opportunity, and I'm looking to stay with them for years on down the road.
Okay, are you 41 years old and still doing this?
31.
No, I'm saying 10 years from today.
At least doing the job with them, yes.
No,
that would be
your
goal.
Parents.
So if that's what is needed, that's what I would say, yes, because I feel morally obligated to do that.
Okay.
But I would also, since I'm going to be paying off the debt, I would like to step back from my second job,
when you're
which
51,
is a full-time job as well.
20 years from now, you're still taking care of your parents?
If I have to, yes, sir.
Okay. I really appreciate your sense of honor, and I appreciate your heart. That's not sustainable. I disagree. And it's not a moral obligation for you to give your life away to take care of these folks who did not bother to take care of themselves just because they happen to be your DNA. And I'm not trying to be cold or mean, but when I do this on a short term, I'm with you. But when I stretch it out 20 years, I'm no longer with you on it. Okay. You and your siblings need to arrange for their care a different way so that you, young man, have a life.
That's the hard thing, is that the siblings will not speak.
Yeah. Why? Because of the way Mom and Dad acted.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I've tried and bridge a gap because I do respect that they have their own families. And then like, hey, I'm the one here with mom and dad. How can I help? And they go, they've not really given me anything to try and pursue any options.
Yeah.
Do you have dreams of having a family, getting married, all that?
If the Lord wills.
Well, I just don't want to see you held back by all of those opportunities because you're taking care of mom and dad.
I'm not suggesting we throw them in the street and that we're cold and that you're dishonorable. You are a very honorable young man, and I appreciate that. There's not many people that are honorable anymore, and I really appreciate your sense of duty. It's a wonderful thing, but I do want you to think beyond on this and start to, what you've laid out here is not a sustainable quality of life for you. And it is not honorable. At some point, it just becomes dysfunctional. So you've got to reach out there and say, okay, we're going to reach a point where we're going to change this living arrangement to X or Y, and we're going to get the siblings involved, or mom and dad, we're going to find something they can live on. It may be Medicaid nursing home at some point because they would qualify for that. It may be whatever. I don't know. And I'm not trying to throw them out in the street today. But this, we're going to do this in perpetuation and call it honor. I'm not with you on that. I'm going to disagree. Even though I admire your honor and I admire your principle, and I think it's wonderful for a period of years even that you take care of them. I have no issue with that. But this idea that you do this for 20 years is absurd, dude. It's absurd. So you need to rethink how we're going to take care of them, who's going to get involved, how we're going to house them and feed them. So that you can begin to move past this, because this is a very, very, it's not emotionally, spiritually, financially sustainable.
Yeah, and I'm hoping maybe we can get mom back to a certain level of health where she can take care of dad if she's in better shape, get her health taken care of, versus you having to put your life on hold to do this.
Yeah, you just got to start finding some kind of an off-ramp.
Strategy
somewhere out there in your mind rather than in perpetuation. And when you've got that, then that will affect the answer to your question, see? That will affect how you work out the baby steps, how you build wealth, how you have a life, how you do these other things. Because the girl that's going to marry into this situation doesn't exist. She's not there.
It's a hard pill to swallow, but...
Well, it's just not, she's not. I mean, it's not because she's dishonorable.
Yeah.
Or mean or lacking in mercy or something like that. It's just she's going to recognize this as a mess and not jump in the middle of it.
We're seeing this trend, the sandwich generation, what they call them, millennials, Gen X. They're having to take care of their parents. They're trying to take care of the kids. And it just puts stress on everyone. It can create resentment. It can leave you broke because you can't hit your own financial goals. You're trying to support everyone on all ends.
Yep.
That's a toxic situation.
Yeah, there's a... Henry Cloud's book, Boundaries, is what we're talking about here. And again, it's not lacking in love. It's not lacking in principle. It's not lacking in honor. It's not lacking in morality. Honor. The Bible says to honor your father and mother. It does not say to honor their misbehavior. It honors the position of father, position of mother. If your mother does cocaine, we're not honoring that. That's not what the Bible's talking about. The Bible's talking about honoring the position of mom as a position. But not mom's misbehavior.
Yeah, it's about respecting
the authority. Or mom's dysfunction, or dad's misbehavior, dad's dysfunction. That's not what we're talking about. And so, but somewhere out of these two, you ended up with a tremendous sense of duty, and that's a wonderful thing for you to have. It's going to carry you a long way in a positive way if you learn to put reasonable guardrails on it. This is The Ramsey Show. George Camel Ramsey Personality is my co-host today. Jake's in Indianapolis. Hi, Jake. How are you?
Hey, George. Hey, Dave. How are you guys doing?
Great, man. What's up?
Hey, I got what should be a pretty easy question. I am getting ready to go overseas with the military, and I pretty consistently invest 15% into my Roth TSP. And I was just wondering, once I get overseas and my salary is tax-free, does that make any sort of difference? My wife also invests in her Roth 401k, so I just wanted to get your take on that.
No, doesn't change a thing.
Okay, so just keep the 15% in the Roth TSP then?
Yep. And, you know, in the TSP, we're 80% C, 10% S, 10% I.
Okay, great. I appreciate your help.
What branch of the service are you in?
The Army.
Special Forces?
I'm a medic in traditional Army, so conventional. So.
Well, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
It's a wild time to be doing what you're doing.
Yeah, yep. They keep us on our toes, I guess.
Yeah, I guess they do. Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you. Yeah, take care of yourself. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dakota is in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hi, Dakota. Wait a minute. Dakota in Dakota?
Yes, sir.
You get that a lot.
Actually, I just moved here back in April.
It was destiny.
Okay, so now you're going to get that a lot. Okay.
Yep.
So how can we help?
Hello. So I am 19 years old, and I am wanting to start a duct cleaning business in about 3 months, roughly. And the current job I'm working for is kind of what I've been doing for the company I work for now. But the problem is I'm only making $13 an hour doing it. And I actually just got a raise to giving me a 65-cent raise. And I could go work at fast food making $15 or $16 an hour. So I'm trying to decide if I should leave this company and go make a little bit more for a while, or if I should stay with this company.
So you're wanting to start your own business? You said duck hunting?
No, duct cleaning.
Duct cleaning.
I was like, a duck hunting business. Okay. Duct cleaning. Okay. And you're saying you can make more going to work for fast food, or should I start this business? But you're definitely wanting to leave the company that you're with right now.
Well, I know I could make more at fast food, but I'm definitely starting this business. It's just kind of waiting for the money to do it.
Do you want to be in the duct cleaning business? Are you excited about it?
Yeah, I'm excited to start my own company doing it.
Okay. I never want to dissuade somebody from going into business because I love small business and I believe in small business. And I never want to be condescending to someone because of their age, but it is impossible for you to have much business acumen at 19 years old. Of knowing what it takes to run a business. You may know how to do the duct work cleaning. You may not know how to do the job, but doing the job is only one part of running the business. There's marketing, there's dealing with customers, banking, setting up the LLC, getting the P&Ls going, doing the accounting. Running the business is a multifaceted thing, and unless you're a highly unusual 19-year-old, you probably don't have that expertise, those tools in your belt yet. I'm not saying you can't get them, but I really wouldn't want to learn on the job, meaning I wouldn't want to try to learn how to run a business while I'm running a business. It's a very rough go. So what I would try to do is work yourself into, with the current company, the duct cleaning business, I would try to work yourself into the operations side of the business, not just doing the work, and start to be mentored, apprenticed in a sense, on how the business actually operates. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And am I wrong, or do you have some kind of business background that I should have known before I opened my mouth?
No, and the accounting stuff definitely is what scares me the most out of it, you know.
Yeah. So if you could work in the office part of the week and even for less money, and learn how the business the operational parts of the business, I think you do know the technical part. I think you can successfully go clean the ducts. Am I right about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can actually perform the job, but that's a lot different than running the business. So here's what I've run into a lot, Dakota, over the years, whether it's 19 or 29 or 49. An example in a different business would be someone that is a chef at a restaurant, and they're very well known. They become actually kind of famous locally for the quality of their food, the beauty of their dish. They become a gourmet chef, and suddenly they decide that means they need to open a restaurant. Well, creating the meal is the equivalent of you cleaning the duct. Agreed? But running the restaurant involves dealing with servers. It involves dealing with the valets out front. It involves dealing with the hostess that didn't show up, the software for the seating and the reservations. It involves, again, the accounting, the marketing for the restaurant, the couponing system that you're going to use or not use. You have a whole business plan that the chef doesn't know squat about, and they go broke. And I see this over and over and over and over again. That someone who is a specialist in a certain area that can perform the task confuses that with running a business. They're two separate skill sets. Performing the task is your entry point, but you've got to learn the other skill sets. Hold on, I'm going to send you a copy of the book Entree Leadership, which was a #1 bestseller on how we've grown and run this business, and that'll begin to help you put some of these tools in your belt. But I recommend before you open the business that you get a few more of these tools in the belt and don't learn on the job.
Yeah, and I love seeing, I think there's more and more young people out there, as I'm kind of scanning social media, who want to work for themselves. They want to run their own business. I think it's awesome. But there is a piece of that where you've got to understand what you're getting into, and it's not just all starry-eyed, I'm going to make so much money and I get to keep it all and be the boss.
Well, I don't want to talk to you when you're 24 where you went broke because you opened something and didn't know how to run it. That's what I don't want that for you.
Yeah.
I do want you to be 24 and have opened 2 years ago at 22 after spending the previous 3 years learning how to run the business, and now we're successful.
And you got to see someone successfully
do it. It's not that I opened my first business when I was 24. So, I'm not against that at all. And I love the entrepreneurial spirit. I think it's good for America. I think it's good for our culture. I think it's good for the individual that's doing it. So the fact that Dakota has that burning in his belly is a wonderful thing. And it's going to take him a lot of good places, too. But you don't know what you don't know when you're starting, and it'll kill you. Yeah. I've had a lot of scars from stupid butt stuff I did that I should have known.
Yeah.
And I didn't know over these years. And so...
Entree Leadership, I mean, that's your book of 20, 25, 30 years now in the trenches of building this thing from a card table. And so this is a great book for anyone who wants to step into that or thinks they want to step into that. Read this book. And if you go, "Ugh, this doesn't sound like me at all," then you know. That's a good sign.
I think you can again, most entrepreneurs have to do some things in the business that they didn't know how to do before and that they don't necessarily enjoy. It's part of starting and running a business. There's things I do every day to day after 30 years that not every day, but every week I get to do something that is not necessarily my favorite thing in the world. It's part of being the owner. It's part of carrying the responsibility. But some of it is things I don't know how to do. I mean, we're in this digital world, and I'm a doofus on some of these things, and and I can't spell app, and so it's just like.
So you hire the right people, you delegate.
Yeah, and I have to go in these rooms with these young people that work for me that are smarter than me, and I don't know what they're talking about. And it's intimidating as crud, And
they're intimidated by you too.
That's part of the process. You got to be a continual learner, and keep putting tools in your belt. You're always going to be doing something that's uncomfortable, but when it's the whole business process is uncomfortable, that's not a good recipe.
Yeah.
It's going to
when you do it with debt, it becomes even worse.
Oh, it's going to bring
do it at the speed of cash.
Real pain then. This is The Ramsey Show. scripture of the day, John 6:35. Then Jesus declared, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. Our friend Les Brown said, wanting something is not enough. You must hunger for it. Your motivation must be absolutely compelling in order to overcome the obstacles that will invariably come your way. And if you haven't ever listened to Les Brown, he would say, hungry.
Yeah, I want to go watch that YouTube video right now.
You must be hungry.
Get me fired up.
And he gets, man, just in one sentence can just make you just run around the block like Rocky. I mean, hungry.
That is a gift.
Les is a wonderful friend and a wonderful man. Oh, one of the best motivators on the planet. Just fun. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Landon's with us in Boston. Hey, Landon, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
So, back in July, I had some car issues, and I started hearing a clunking noise. And so I went to 4 different mechanics. They all told me the same thing, that I needed my struts and sway bar links changed. So then the first mechanic, I went to the cheapest mechanic. They tried to fix it. And I had to go back there 8 different times for them to either redo the alignment, or they kept messing up everything when they were installing stuff. So fast forward 7 months later, I'm still having that issue, or I was having that issue, and I went to a different mechanic. And when he looked at the car to see what the work that mechanic did, he said the parts were installed completely wrong. The alignment was way off. And my question is, and since now I have a lot of, I have the evidence now, so he took pictures as well. He gave me a statement of what they did wrong. So do you think I should go to small claims court to try to get my money back from the first mechanic?
How much was it?
In total, it was $979.
$979.
Yes.
Okay. Did you go back and talk to the first mechanic and say, hey, here's the pictures. This stuff was installed wrong. I need a refund.
Not yet, but when I tried to talk to them in the beginning to try to get a refund and go to a different mechanic, they basically just told me to get lost and that they're not going to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm trying to see if I should just take them to court, because they don't want to deal with it and they don't want to give me the refund or anything.
Well, here's the thing. You're under the illusion that going to court is easier than dealing with the people, and it's not.
Okay.
I'm not sure you're going to get anywhere either way.
Mm-hmm.
Because here's the thing. Let's just pretend you go to court, okay? And you walk in there and Judge Judy drops her gavel and says, you get a $979 judgment against an incompetent mechanic. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Mechanic doesn't even show up. He just automatically loses. You win the case, which, by the way, is probably what will happen. Okay? It's not going to be like some trial that you see on TV where he actually shows up and you get to argue about this. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You're not going to get any real satisfaction. You're just going to get a judgment for $979. Now you've got to go try to execute on that judgment, which means somehow collect that from this guy who wouldn't give you a refund in the first place. So now you got to go hire a lawyer and take a lien on his bank account, take a lien on his house, take a lien on whatever. I think you're working really hard for $900.
Yes, because that's what I was thinking, because this mechanic, it's actually a franchise, so it's like a big company. And so that's why I was thinking like maybe it'd be worth it to do it.
Well, the franchisor is not liable. The name that's on the front, unless it's a company store. You're sure it's a franchise and not a company store?
I believe it's a franchise. It's actually Mavis Tire is what they're called.
I don't have any idea what that means, but
no, you're not sure.
But so you probably know it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the Boston area. I've definitely heard of them. But, I mean, like Dave's saying, this is a lot of emotional energy for you to expend over the $979.
What do you make a year?
I'm a college student right now, so I only make like $20,000.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think this is going to take up a lot more of your life than you anticipate when you enter into this process, is what I'm telling you. I'm trying to warn you about that, and you may regret. I mean, I've been in a few lawsuits, not very many, but in every lawsuit so far that I've ever been in, the winner was the lawyers. And when I got done, I've never yet had a sense that justice actually occurred. I just went through a big old load of manure, and I got it all over me. And that's really the only. I never have never come out going, "Oh, I won," or "Oh, I lost." It was never this sense of justice.
Just
it's kind of defeating in that sense that the court system can't really ever give you justice because they don't. Because by the time you finish with all the BS that you go through, even when you win, and I've won every one I've ever been in. I've never been in one I didn't win, but you don't win.
Yeah.
After you write all those checks and you deal with all this stuff, you didn't really win. You just won. But it's just, ugh. You know, it's not pleasant. And that's why these companies settle these things instead of fighting on principle. It's just because nobody really wins but the lawyers. So I wouldn't. What I would do is I would go hassle them. I'd go show up over there and talk to the manager and say, listen, I'm not going away that easy. You guys did this wrong. You screwed this up. Now you need to do the right thing, because otherwise I'm going to tell a whole bunch of people that you're crooks and you're incompetent. And I'm going to go to the franchisor. I'm going to the home office. I'm going to give you about $9,000 worth of hassle just because I'm going to make a hobby out of you for $900. So y'all need to give me some kind of a refund for the work that you did. Because it's cost me a lot. I'm a broke college kid, and you're screwing me here. Now, maybe you meant to, maybe you didn't, but that's the net result, and you need to do the right thing. And if you don't, I'm going to wear social media out. I'm going to wear out your home office, and you're going to just wish you'd never met me. Now, that you could probably do with less energy than going to small claims court, but you've got the idea in your head, and you're wrong, that going to small claims court is going to just make this all whoop, whoop, and they're just going to write you a check, and they're not.
Yeah.
It's not going to be. It's going to be less hassle than becoming a hassle.
I'm going to become the squeaky wheel, and I'm going to go full Liam Neeson, and I'm going to make them regret ever screwing me over. And I'm going to leave a review on Yelp and Google reviews. I'm going to report you to the BBB. You're going to get it from all angles. You go, who is this guy? He's destroying us.
Yeah.
But again, you're expending a lot of energy. And if you want to do it for fun, that's fine. But this may just be one of those things you go, never again.
Life goes on. Life goes on. Yeah, I know one place I'm not taking a car, and anytime anybody brings it up, I'm going to tell them not to go there. I mean, they could be just that simple. And what comes
Stand outside with a sign going, don't go here.
Yeah.
There you go. It's whatever protest you want to do.
Yeah.
Or take it to Judge Judy. That could be fun, too. Get yourself on TV.
Or not. Yeah.
Those shows are entertaining, if nothing else. Good people watching.
Yeah, the problem with them is that people get the sense that really happens.
The sensationalizing of it.
Yeah, Judge Judy's no more of a judge than Dr. Laura is a doctor. I mean, come on. It's and Laura's a friend of mine, by the way, but she's not a doctor. She's not got a PhD. It's just a nickname. And so...
no, Dr. John Deloney is a real doctor.
Yeah, he actually has 2 PhDs.
Not a medical doctor. Don't ask him for medical advice, although he'll give it to you.
Yeah, it's he'll Google it. So that's the problem with that. Is it's just there's sometimes you have to use the courts. I mean, we have to use them in real estate for evictions and things, and those are usually fairly clean. That's a fairly dialed in process. But collecting on a debt, I've never collected on a debt.
Now, could he get a lawyer to write a letter to where it kind of spooks him a little bit and they give him a refund? That could work.
But you're going to write a check to do that.
Yeah. Maybe a smaller one, but
yeah,
could work. Good luck.
Small claims court, you could file yourself and go in there and be your own lawyer, which we know what that is.
Dangerous.
Good hour, George. Well done.
Thank you.
Good job, booth people. You booth folk did a great work. The booth folk.
The booth folk did
That
good.
puts this hour in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey guys, this is James, senior producer for The Ramsey Show. Did you know over 18 million people listen to The Ramsey Show every week? And a lot of those people listen on one of our 600 plus radio stations across the country. To find a station near you, head to theramseyshow.com.